Teacher? What's going on? Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do?
Papa.
I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So what are you doing here?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
Hey.
Did someone come here?
That was my wife. Somebody chased her up here, and she has the kids.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in a
There was a
silver
guy
truck.
in a gray truck, and he came
So
around the corner,
I don't know if you guys have a
I was in
reading.
the street, and so I come up, and I just have my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home, and so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope," and then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah.
Why?
He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming. And I'm like, that's...
She got all worried that she
Scared the crap out of me.
How?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
How did he scare you,
I
though?
had a feel.
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, are you looking for somebody? Because I was pulling up out
And I saw someone walking in our driveway, too. And I'm like, why is someone walking in our driveway?
Well, I'm
Well,
sorry.
think about it. All right, sorry.
What?
I
She said that someone was following her. So you were walking from there?
You came this way, didn't you?
No, I came down this street right here.
Yeah.
And I was riding slow because I'm looking at our Christmas lights.
Well, you just have to understand my point of view. Being by myself with two kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, oh, it scared me, and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, this could be his house. But you didn't say, this is my home. You just said, are you looking? And I was like,
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, did I live here? I said, yeah.
And you said, no, you don't.
And you said, I don't think you do.
It was obviously you could tell that I was really caught off guard.
Like I'm pulling in my, it's like I'm pulling in my house. Like this is not, this neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods in Ohio.
It is.
I don't, you don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Well, I'm very sorry. I really hope that you're not upset with me.
Come on, baby. Go in the house. Let's go.
You told me that I didn't. You said you didn't think I live here.
It was the way that you were talking. I was so caught off guard. I'm so sorry.
And all the things. So I want to jump on here because my Facebook is public. And for those of you guys who are telling me that I owe a public apology, one, I will not apologize for making any sort of racist remark. I am the furthest thing from a racist. I will, however, apologize that my expression could ever come across in such a way, or that somebody could think something of that nature of myself and my family. So, long story short, I need to give the context because there's a lot of y'all who are, I'm sure, coming to my page right now, not knowing. JB's coming down. Hold on. Hang on. And he says, "This is my house," and I said, "I don't think that it is." And at that point, the only reason that I said that was because truly the awkward encounter of slowing up behind me, talking to us multiple times. I'm in this frantic state. It's late at night. I got my kids, my two babies. The lady at the door is not answering. There's no other homes that are well established. I mean, there's construction. It's a corner house. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm on the front porch. This truck literally is halfway up the driveway. And I was like, my radar was like, nope, I don't think that this is your house. And so I said, I don't believe that this is your house. And so I'm starting to unbuckle cash, and I grab and I freak. I go, Rory, run. And so I take off the porch and I literally run as fast as I can, screaming at the top of my lung. I'm getting all these messages. I'm so sorry. Screaming at the top of my lung. I've never, ever, ever screamed the way that I screamed. And I'm running through the front yards of everybody, praying that the Ring doorbell would capture us. Finally, to get to a woman's house, I'm bang on the door. And at this point, I'm dialing 911, and I said, can I please come in? And the woman said, yes, come in. And so I'm staying there, I'm talking to the sheriff, and more than anything, I was not looking for him to come to my rescue at this point. My husband was going to come. I'm in this woman's house. The door is closed. And I tell the man, he said, do I need to come out? And I just said, no. I said, I was just calling to let you know that this just happened. My husband's going to come get me. And, he says, he asked me if I wanted him to come out, and I said no. And so the woman then, I was at her house, she literally asked me and said, she said, I don't know how to ask this. She goes, but was it a black man? Because she goes, it's a black family that lives there. And I said, no, I believe that this is a white man. He was a white man in a truck, a young white man is what I said. And she said, okay. She goes, because that's a black family that lives there. And I said, no, I don't think that it was a black man. And then when my husband got there, I stood out front, and we're still trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me talking to my husband. But he asked me again, he said, what house was it? And I said, it was this house right here. And he goes, are you sure it wasn't a black guy? He goes, because that's a black family. And I said, no, I don't believe that it was a black man. And so we get in the car, and I've said this a million times, I have never felt the fear that I had even just pulling up in front of the house when John opened the door to get out of the truck. The amount of, I've never went into like fight or flight like that before. And so he gets out of the car, and he, goes up to the woman's house, and a woman comes out onto the front porch, and she says something along the lines like, did you forget something, or did you leave something? And John laughs, and he's like, yes, we did. I'm so sorry. And I get out of the car, and I walk up to the woman, and I could not tell her fast enough what had happened. She walks out on the porch, and I jump out of the car, and I said, oh my gosh, yes, there was a man. And John was the one that said, a man was following her, chasing her, following her is what I said. I use the word chasing, following me. And, so she said, I jumped out of the car, and I said, I'm so sorry. I said, literally, I was pretending that your house was my house. I was walking up the driveway, and then I was like turning in. I was pretending that it was yours. And she goes, yeah, that was my husband. And so he ends up coming out, and he's like, I told you this was my house. And at that point, I literally started, I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I am so sorry. And I told him, I said, I'm so sorry. And then, I said, this is your house. That was my words. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, this is your house. I said, I truly kept thinking like, maybe this is his house. Maybe this is his house. And he says, well, I told you this was your house. And I said, you have to understand. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was such an awkward encounter. I said, the truck was like starting to slow behind me, and I'm out here with my little girl and my son, and I said, I'm a mom, and it was dark. And he said, but I told you that this was my house. He says, I was driving slow because I was looking at my Christmas lights. And once again, I said, I am so sorry. And they truly, they did not take my apology. And that night, I went home. And so if you guys saw on Instagram, I shared the story twice. The only reason that I shared the story is because I was heartbroken, and it was a really scary night. I've always shared everything on Instagram. And so that night, after that whole instance happened, I literally was sitting on the steps, first of all, and John kept trying to talk to me. I kept telling him I was so sorry. And I've never, just the panic. I literally could not come down from this fight or flight. From the time that I was at the woman's house to literally 30 seconds later, telling the woman that I was just followed, to the man stepping out on the front porch and it being his house. It was like all of these different emotions. And so I'm sitting at home, literally having this meltdown. And I kept telling John I was so sorry. I felt really stupid. And, so on the way home, I forgot to say that the cop was driving around our neighborhood, and, I'm getting all these messages. I'm so sorry. The cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I stopped him. We stopped him, and I jumped over, rolled the window down, and I said, I am so sorry. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was his house. It was a misunderstanding. I'm so sorry. He was like, it's okay. I'm glad everything's fine. I was like, yes, it's fine. So I ended up, we went home. And that night when I got home, I had tears, and I was making a cup of coffee. And if you guys know me, I put everything on Instagram. I talk all the time. It was an innocent mistake. I felt really stupid. I absolutely was crushed I felt like they thought I was stupid. I already felt stupid. I truly felt stupid. Like I said to them on the porch, like I kept thinking like maybe this is his house. And then like I'm running and screaming at the top of my lungs. And so yeah, like I felt dumb for sure. So I went on Instagram in my story. I still have it archived, and I like have tears, and I'm making a cup of coffee. And I said, I was like, man, you like talk about a night. I'm like, man, my night just completely took a left turn. And I was like, super scary. I was like, I'll have to fill you guys in later. So I went live that night. And then I went live again the next morning. And I have to tell you guys, I have been on social media long enough to know that there's a lot of scrutiny. And so by me going live, I did not think that I was doing anything wrong. I was sharing the story of what happened, better safe than sorry, how scary it was, just what I went through. Like, that's the only reason that I went live. At the end, I talked about how I felt stupid and how this couple, twice I apologized and nothing came of it. And so, yeah, that crushed me. I did feel really stupid. So that is the story of that night. Many of you guys were on those lives, and so you guys know the exact emotions and state that I was in. So we are here. And it wasn't until about 2 weeks ago, maybe a little less than that, that John was sitting in the living room, and he called me the day prior, and he asked me a question about, did you ever say, he said, did you tell the woman that he was black? And I said, no, I told her that I thought he was a young white man. He's like, I thought so. And I was like, that was really weird that he called and asked me that. So the next morning, I was doing my morning reading, and he sits down in front of me, and he's like, we have to talk. And so he told me that there had been a letter floating around our neighborhood that had been posted in our mailroom that had said something about a racist profiling in the neighborhood. And so, of course, you throw racism into the mix, it gets really yucky. And that was the furthest thing from what it was, to the point of literally we have a handwritten letter from the woman's house that I went to. I'm trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me standing on the porch telling John when he asked, are you sure it wasn't a black man? And I said, I think it is a young white man. But she wrote a letter. She was like, I'm happy to speak on your behalf. You absolutely told me that you thought it was a white man. And so we had 2 days in a row, the letter was posted in the mailroom saying that there was a racist profiling, not mentioning our name, but it was in reference to that night. It was taken down 2 times. And then I believe there was an email sent to our followed 20 minutes home, and my car was broken into when I was at the store. And when I was a little girl, we had a man banging on our door and helicopters hovering over our home. So did I overreact? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But I showed up at the door and I said that I was sorry 2 times. People are going as far as saying they're not genuine apologies, that I'm out to get them for whatever reason that is. I don't know how it could be twisted that way when I literally thought he was a white man. So I knew it wasn't going to stop there, but the Facebook page stuff was deleted. Not me ever asking for any of it to be deleted. I made a public apology to them through the video to a whole Facebook page of almost 500 residents in our neighborhood. And then I posted in the comments multiple times when people were just saying, disgusting and just tearing down our family's name. I once again came on and I said, if there's ever an opportunity to reconcile, I will. I'm so sorry I could have ever offended you. And so I've absolutely apologized multiple times. It's not been accepted. So now I woke up today and John starts sending me screenshots of people going on all of my social media channels. And, I had to make my pages private on the one of the videos of us talking about opening our store, there were over 360 comments, some of which absolutely were from our members, but I would say over 300 of them within a 10-minute span were from people coming to absolutely attack us, saying anything and everything you can imagine, from hating on my faith, tying that to racism and me not being who I say I am, to my family, to be on a lookout, to our business is destroyed, to you can imagine everything that's being said, to our direct messages, to my friends and members being messaged saying that I'm a racist, going as far as saying that I was trying to have a black man killed. That was commented a few times. To people texting me personally, calling me a racist pig. Our direct messages, our other businesses, Crave is being attacked, and every business platform, my Facebook ratings, everything is being attacked right now. So, everybody keeps asking for a public apology, and I wanted to get ahead of it. I don't want to just stay quiet, but I did shut my pages to private. I've explained to my Instagram exactly what I'm explaining to y'all. I absolutely am so sorry that I didn't think more of how they possibly could have felt in the moment and my reaction. I'm not trying to play the victim. Very few people have truly said they can't, putting themselves in my shoes, and it does make me angry. It does, if I'm being completely honest, and I'm trying to be so slow to speak. And I have said multiple times how stupid I felt. I even looked at him, like I said, when he came out on the porch. And I said, oh my gosh, this was your house. And I kept thinking to myself, what if this is his house? But pulling up behind me, whether it's to look at your Christmas lights or not, I didn't know that. All I knew was it was dark. I had my kids. You're talking to me. You're continuing to talk to me. Now you're backing in this driveway. And then I asked if it was his house. And he said, yeah. I didn't believe it at that point. This was getting so awkward. I just continued to feel like I was getting pursued more and more. It had nothing to do with the color of his skin. He could have been purple, orange, whatever. He was a man in a truck pursuing me. The tone of his voice was not welcoming or comforting at all. And so, yes, I panicked. Did I overreact? I don't think so. So, I'll leave this here for you all to decide what you believe. But I don't know if the owners will watch this, or the people who have decided to come alongside them. I don't think I'm in a position of trying to win hearts anymore. I've made many apologies and they weren't accepted, so I don't think it's about an apology anymore. But I just wanted you all to know that I am a lover of everyone. I really am. And once again, I'm sorry for anything that I could have done to not hold your heart. What a terrible situation and terrible timing. Like, that's what it all boils down to. Really terrible timing. And now it's just getting really, really ugly. So, I just wanted to make sure that this was put out there publicly. Y'all being very sweet. Thanks. Thanks, guys. I just sit here and I'm like, man, is there like anything that I could say just to like make people drop it? I just don't think there is. I just think it's just gonna hang there for a minute. Thank you for giving your time to this, everybody. It's not y'all's issue at all. So, I love you. If you guys start messaging me and stuff, the reason I'm not responding is we're supposed to be celebrating John's birthday today. So I'm gonna try really hard to stay away from all of this and be present with the kids because we've not been very present with them. My mind has been super tied up. Okay, that's all. Thanks, everybody.